Hello, everybody. Long time no see. How are you all? Mark here from my workshop down in Cornwall. It's a bit cold today, a bit grey and horrible. Turn my phone off. That's my phone telling me that I've just gone live. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Strange that. Oh yeah. Right. Bring in my earworms. Doug was supposed to be here. Not sure he might have overslept because they had a long night last night. And I've sent the link to Pete. So Pete, if you want to join in, feel free. But I know Pete was busy doing work today, so he may not be in. But I am joined by Ruby Claire, RPT, from Canada, and Wayne, the woodturner, from
Good
Scotland.
afternoon.
They're going to be reading out the chat, relaying the questions, telling me what everyone's laughing at, and basically looking after me. I'll put them in the background. I'll go over to the lathe and start telling you what it is I'm going to be doing. Right, intro cam. Here we go. So we're going to turn this big old block of wood. This is a piece of oak. It's about 7 1/4 by 5 3/4. 5 3/4. We're going to have, for those in the UK to understand this is going to be a bit of a Blue Peter moment. Because all I'm going to do is turn this one to round. Pete's just coming in. Here he is. Bring him in. Hello, Pete.
Hey, Pete.
So I'm going to turn this one to round, show you how to turn it around. Nothing new with that. Just spindle roughing gouge, turn between centers. And then the actual one is going to be this piece. Now, the reason I've done this came off the end of the blank that I was using. And it's got some cracks. And I don't want any cracks in this because this is going to be a skittle ball used in anger in a league in Somerset. John Yo is in the chat. This is going to be for him. And this one came from further down inside the blank and it has no cracks visible. All right. So this gives you a chance to see the turning down to round and then how I form the sphere. So I'll mount this up and you guys can shoot away.
Okay.
Hi everyone, I've just got Mark's message and dropped in the background.
Hey, Pete.
We're glad you joined us this morning, Pete.
Shavings out one of my feet. Hang on a sec.
Good stock.
Right, who's in the chat? So Ruby was in first. Sheen's in. Afternoon, Sheen. Pete is obviously here. Norman Greenwell. Andy Door 60. Rob Cop Owl. Hugh, wouldn't it be nice? Going down.
Go on, by the way, before I'm wearing a head mount, head shield just for the turning down, then I'll move to safety classes afterwards.
Okay. Chris Dodds is in. Marcel. Mick's in. Hi, Mick. That's Mick Hughes, that is. Amy's in. Hi, Amy. Not seen you for a while. John Yo, as Mark said. Alex, the wood butcher. Still going down. Douglas Mung's in. Paul Huyton. And I think that's me. Oh no, Terry Bartlett's just come in as well. Oh, Lucy's in as well. Hi, Lucy.
Mark?
And Peter the Park Wood Turner.
Yes, Ruby.
When
Good
you
afternoon, everyone.
when you do the roughing, do you want to maybe mute yourself?
A bit loud, is it?
Yes. Good. Now we can say all the things we want to say about Mark.
Oh, you can still hear us, so.
You can still hear us, we can't answer.
Darn.
There was a Jabra software update this morning. It usually takes a couple of days of rebuilding its sound
Mine
filters
won't.
after you get your
Mine
update.
won't download.
Yours won't download?
No, the
Mine was
update it
fine.
won't. It press the update and it starts downloading, then stops. And I've tried about half a dozen times, so I'll just leave it.
Yeah, pick it up tomorrow or the day after. But yeah, when you get a Jabra update, it usually takes a day or two for it to rebuild its sound filters to work properly again.
Hmm. That's not very efficient, is it?
No, but it is what it is.
Amy said that her and technology don't get along.
Sorry about that. I just had to change the setting on the camera because it wasn't turning itself off.
Well, it's good you're doing this, Mark. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known what Skittles and a Skittle ball were.
Well, it's a very UK thing. It's like 10-pin bowling, but with 9 pins.
It's actually a German
pins-
thing, not a UK thing.
Oh, it's very well. You try telling that to anybody in the southwest. So it's 9 wooden skittles that are 10 inches tall, and I think it's a 6-inch diameter. They're basically just like a bowling pin, but without the thin bit on the top. So they're the same shape, top and bottom. Very much like a light pole. They look a bit like this in shape, but obviously much bigger. And you have skittle alleys in local pubs, where basically it's an excuse for grown men to go get very drunk, throw some balls down an alley, knock pins over, laugh and shout at each other. And where's my calipers? It's all great fun, but it's also taken extremely seriously. Oh, Doug's turned up. Here we go, Doug.
There we go.
Hey,
Hey,
Doug.
Doug.
How to do?
Hey,
Nice,
Doug.
Doug.
Running a little slow this morning, but I'm here. How is
Right.
everybody?
Good.
Very
And we're
well.
glad you're
Good here.
here.
Right, so what I'm going to do now is just going to take this down to roughly the same diameter. Beating parting tool.
John's saying it's a West Country thing. You don't find it played in other parts of the country. But I was there telling people last night, John, that I live in Dumfries, up in Scotland, and we used to have a pub in Dumfries called the Nine Pins, and that had 2 skittle alleys in the back of the pub.
Well, Ben wants to know, how can you be drunk and also be taken extremely seriously? You have a good point, Ben.
It works as long as everybody is equally drunk. So you start off with everybody scoring in a sober mode, and through the evening, if they all drink the same amount, the scores are all affected by the same amount of alcohol. Works fine.
Well, the next time I visit, you guys will have to take me down to see a Skittle alley.
Yeah. I mean, apart from all the fancy machinery and the alleys aren't oiled like a bowling alley. They're just a wooden alley. It's very similar. My stolen firewood project for this winter is going to be simple. There's a restaurant that we frequent that keeps firewood stacked up outside the door. And every time I go there, I steal a piece, bring it home, make something, and take it back. Put it back on the firewood pile. Candlesticks. And I'm fed up with that now. So what am I going to do? So the plan is to make a complete skittle set. Pins
There
and
you
ball.
go. John Yo has said the lad who puts the pins up is called the sticker-upper.
Oh. Now, Mark, what is the final diameter of this ball going to be?
It's going to be 5 inches. But like I said earlier, if I go to here, Red, you can see there's some surface cracks. Now for complete complete transparency, John Yo purchased a set of Skittle balls off of me and I sent them up to him. First night they used them rather embarrassingly. One of them split clean in half. Now it did have some surface cracks on it, which I'd filled with a mixture of 2-part epoxy, sawdust, and some thick CA glue for the surface. But those cracks went a lot deeper than I thought they did. So unfortunately it split, and this is a free replacement for his team. Hence why I'm being very selective about the piece I'm using. Now, this is 5 inches in diameter. And what I want to do now is mark 5 inches. So it's now going to be as wide as it is round. Okay, with a pencil.
So Mike is asking, is this the traditional wood for a skittle bowling ball?
Yes. Oak is usually the traditional one.
That's
For the balls.
probably why we don't.
The Skittles tend to sometimes be ash or beech, but you use oak for the balls because they've got a weight to them. Oak is obviously quite a heavy wood.
Well, Lucy asked, didn't they used to make them out of lignum vitae?
Well, that's more for lawn bowls.
That's lawn bowls, yeah. That's not for Skittles.
I was just
Right,
about to
so
say that.
I'm going to take these two down and create 2 spigots on either end. Back down with the shield.
Now, Alex, what's more effective digital readout on your tailstock, Mark?
Got here at the moment, Ruby.
Yeah, I was going to say he probably can't hear you, but yes, it is. There's a little battery in there. And it reads out how far that tailstock's been extended. Douglas asking about if a piece of burr would not be better to make the balls out of, and I understand the logic there. That grain goes every direction. However, that would be a $5 piece of wood for a ball that you're going to roll into stuff and beat it up.
Yeah.
Oh,
Also,
And Ward Wilson's just come in.
Hey, Ward.
I
Hi,
was
Ward.
yeah. The thing with using a bit of burr is you kind of want the ball to be fairly balanced.
Yeah.
Although skittle alleys are not a perfect surface, so the ball can sort of bounce around, and you have to get used to the skittle alley you're playing on. Having an unbalanced ball will make it virtually impossible.
now I'm bullying this piece of wood. I'm taking big cuts. Taking the full 10 millimeter width. Just to get the spigots down, you create the spigots so that you've got room to turn the actual sphere itself.
Mm-hmm.
And William Kenny's just come in. Good afternoon.
Hi, William.
Hey, William.
Roger Kent's in.
Now, when you make that cut, you want to make sure you're going straight in and not angling it a little bit towards the inside.
Yeah, don't want to undercut. Because these faces underneath this spigot, if you can imagine the center of the spigots, that's going to be the outside furthest radius of the sphere itself. So if you go inwards, if you angle inwards, you're going to end up making the sphere smaller than it needs to be. Now, as you can see, I don't know if you can see there.
Yeah, a
One
lump
big
jumped
chunk.
off. I saw that.
Yep. So all the more reason why I'm not using this for John's, because there are cracks. There's one there that comes down, goes all the way down to the center. That side. This side is clear. So this side was the end of the post. This side was the center. And then if I look at this piece, exactly the same. This piece is nice and clean. No cracks traveling down. There's one crack, tiny little crack, just there, but it only goes down about 3/4 of an inch, maybe half an inch. So that'll probably come off. That'll get turned away. Yep. Right. So got my center line. I'll mark out on here as well. That's 2.5. So 1 1/4 is half of 2.5. There is a fancy formula for doing these. I think it's 1.26 or something times the diameter to give you your actual. But I find, because I'm turning this by eye, that close enough is good enough. It will end up being a sphere in the end. So I just mark 1 1/4 in from the edge, because that's 1 1/4, that's 1 1/4. That's going to give me my shave off for my 45 degrees, which will all become completely apparent when I start turning the actual one.
Woodwork Intermediate has said,
Woodwork Intermediate.
yeah. Well, no, I'm going to leave that one alone.
Yeah, we'll leave that one.
Never mind.
Yeah, I just read it.
What?
Very funny.
Ben's got a question for you there, Ruby.
Yeah.
What kind of shorter fluted gouge versus a new gouge?
Well, it depends on the gouge, whether or not you're talking about a spindle gouge or a bowl gouge. If it's a spindle gouge and you're worried about vibration, go with a detail gouge, which has more material in the bottom end of it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're talking about a bowl gouge, I tend to go with a 5/8 gouge, which is heavier anyway. And as long as you keep your tool rest up close, you shouldn't have too much of a problem with vibration. It's when you're using a very small, thin gouge to do a large job that I find you run into the problem. If
now, for everybody, when Ruby's talking about a 5/8 bowl gouge in the UK, that would be a 1/2 inch bowl gouge.
Yep.
Correct. I used to watch you turning, saying you're picking up your 1/2 inch, and I'm thinking to myself, I wouldn't even approach a bowl with one that size. It's way too small. But
right. So I've gone back. Sorry, gone back to safety glasses now. Taking the visor off. So I'm going to take 45-degree corner off of this piece. So I'm going to go 45 degrees. All right.
Ian Leach has come in. Hi, Ian.
Hi, Ian.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. Just
3/8 bowl gouge.
Just to finish that, Ben, when a gouge gets too short, you sometimes can't make the cuts with it.
I like it when a gouge gets too short. That means you can play with different shapes on it.
When I get too short, that's when I heat them up and make them into other tools.
Yeah.
Tool rest is just a little bit too high. And I know I didn't turn it off. We should always turn our tool base off before we move the tool rest.
Yeah, I think that's 47 degrees, Mark. You're in trouble there, mate.
Sorry, Pete, say again?
I think that's 47 degrees you got there.
Probably.
Actually, it was 46.5, Pete.
Ah, right.
So now we do the same on the other side. It's a bevel supported cut. At this stage, it's nothing difficult.
He knows you well, Pete. He says you like when a gouge gets too short if you can stop for a new one.
Full confession, I've got at least a full set of gouges unused in the cupboard, waiting please get one in. Bowl gouges, that is. Spindle gouges, yeah, down to my last 3 spindle gouges.
There you go. Right. Now this line here is very important. At no point throughout this entire turning do I want this line to disappear. Okay? So this is going to be my guideline. For turning the sphere. Right, bevel.
Now, I've seen some people make a mark between more halfway marks and then continue the cuts that way.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Amy's just reminded me that Douglas had a question a wee while back. Douglas asked if English oak or French oak would be better for less cracks. I have no idea.
Okay, I can pick that one up. French oak in the north of France is the same as English oak. French oak on the Mediterranean is probably not.
Yeah, and the reason would be the growing season is different, so you tend to have tighter grain.
Yeah, it's a northern European oak is what we refer to as English oak, and it does grow in other countries, but the further south you go, the more likely it is to be a different variety altogether.
Yeah, the same thing happens with pine. You can get some pine that grows in warm climates where it grows quickly and it's very soft, and then you get pine that grows in a northern latitude or a higher altitude, and it can be just as tight grained as any other wood.
Now doing this cut coming towards the headstock, I need to get out of my way. I need to get out of my own way because I'm coming right round here because I'm using a bowl gouge. The handle's longer, so literally shift everything out of the way, and I'm standing right back outside the lathe. I'm going to lean in, pick up a cut, and when I finish, I'm right back I'm behind the headstock. The headstock's here, and I'm stood behind it. So I'm right back out of its way.
Or you could turn left-handed and then your body's out of the way all the time.
Or I could turn left-handed, but I didn't want to show off.
It's not showing off. Mark is doing what needs to be done. Ben's had to go back to work, but he had said a little earlier, he was thinking about the Doug Thompson gouges, but I think he's mistaken. He was thinking the Doug Thompson gouges have a long bar and a short flute.
That's about it.
But I'm sitting here looking at my my true half-inch Doug Thompson, and it's got a flute every bit as long as a Sorby's.
Yeah, I was wondering about that because I remember when Doug started making those.
Yeah.
And I had one that didn't have that problem.
Right. He may be thinking of those we were talking about, I don't know, a couple weeks ago maybe, on Wayne's Live that come out of Australia.
Ah, okay.
Oh, is that the ones with the screw-in tips?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, those are the woodcut ones, aren't they?
Yeah, woodcut, that's it.
Yeah.
Yep. I've seen several people since then that are using those.
Kerry Corey from Australia
Yes.
uses
Yes,
fantastic
he does.
turner. He's only been turning a couple of years.
I have seen a few people using them, and the idea is sound, I think.
Yeah.
I find in the tool market, if the idea is good, give it a couple of years and everybody's doing the same thing.
Right, what I'm doing here, I'm just reducing down the size of the spigots on either end, because eventually I'm going to take this off and turn it, hold it between cup centers for final sanding and shaping. I'm just giving myself less to remove. Right.
And the intermediate said go modern, make them out of resin. Skittles is a very traditional game.
You would be shot if you did that. You
Yeah,
have no idea how serious these people take this stuff. It's frightening.
But there is also a strong balance between the alley, which, as I said, is an unoiled wooden surface, the pins, and the ball. And the traditional materials don't damage each other too much. So that's why they stick with it.
Yeah. Woodworm Paul is in.
So at this point, this is where I say, even though I know he won't watch, because he doesn't watch YouTube very often, but Colwyn, you owe me another pint, because I'm going to use the Colwyn Way signature skew as a scraper, not as a skew, because they do make a fantastic negative rake scraper. And all I'm doing at this stage is just refining my shape. So flat on the bar.
Maybe you want to change
Overhead,
the
Mark?
overhead.
Sorry.
You're forgiven this time.
There you go.
I'm saying nothing.
I bet you're not saying anything either.
I'll stop the lathe, because I get shouted at if I don't. Just move to rest.
Are the alleys made of cedar? Mike wants to know.
I don't know the answer to that. Hopefully somebody in the chat can pick that up and answer it.
There's John still in. He may be able to answer that.
I would think cedar would be pretty soft. Chris Dodd says you're getting a bit thin on top, Mark. I think it's a good thing, otherwise you wouldn't be able to see what the tool's doing.
Oh, that's Mark's head. I thought that was a template he was using for what he's cutting.
Pete.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh dear.
Got something on my front door. We'll be back in a minute.
Right. That is pretty much a sphere. Notice, I'll get my head out of the way. Notice the black line is still there.
Mm-hmm.
Just made it a little bit thinner.
John says that his alley is made of flooring that used to belong to a dance floor, and asks if it could be sycamore. It might even be oak.
There we go. Right. Happy with that? Okay. So, for the most part, that line is still in place. So all I'm going to do is just back off the pressure on my centers and stalling for time because I'm trying to find it.
Have you
I
ever
want to use,
considered using a template to put over top to check your shape?
I do sometimes, but when I'm turning, if I was turning 3 of these in one go, I'd have the template that I used on the originals. But as this one is just a straight 5-inch, I didn't need the template for this one.
Amy
Amy's having
D'Angela's
to
had
go.
to leave.
See you later, Amy. Thanks for popping in, darling. Good to see you. So that's one knob off, and then just take off the other nub. So we're left with 2 nubby bits. See them there and there. Okay. So what we do now is we change our centers, and these are a couple of centers that I made up myself with advice from Shop Dog Workshop. Mark. He hasn't done many videos, but one of the ones he's done was phenomenally good. You buy a rubber mallet with a non-marking material. Rubber mallet with a non-marking material. You cut the non-marking material off the mallet, glue it to a piece of wood, turn the piece of wood down, it fits in your jaws, and the other end goes on your live center. This is my compression live center for the Axminster pen mandrel, and the reason I use that is because it's not a sharp point, it's a dull point. If you see that, so this when it goes on, that point goes down inside that hole. Just gives it a bit more stability than a 60-degree. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
This goes in the C jaws, and you drop it in the shavings.
That's why you have all those shavings to catch
That
it.
is why I have all those shavings there, yes. Clean workshop is a sign of a sick mind.
Thank you.
That's disappointing. Nice big parcel, but it's for the neighbour.
Sometimes you take just a little jiggling around just to get them right. So, now I'm going to be looking at this ghosting. So back with a bowl gouge, but I'm going to use a smaller bowl gouge. Lathe back to 0 because I've changed everything around. Now I do need to have a little bit of light on this because I need to see the ghosting. I know that's blowing everything out, and I do apologise, but there we go. That's better. I need to see the ghosting.
Yeah, we can see the ghosts too.
Drop the tool rest a little bit because I'm back on a bowl gouge. This is a little 6mm, 1/4 inch. Stop frequently, have a look, see what you've got left.
Now,
Douglas is asking. Oh, go on, Ruby. Go on.
No, you go ahead.
Right, Douglas is asking what the meaning of the identification of sea jaws and the rest of them. I think, Douglas, they've just picked letters to name the jaws with.
Yeah, if you go to the Axminster catalogue, you can follow the jaw names through different sizes, although it's only really the SK80 that has a different size requirement these days. But you've got a sea jaw in a small size and you've got a sea jaw in a standard size.
I think part of it too has to do with when you take the jaws off the chuck, each jaw makes a letter C.
Yeah, it doesn't really follow through for the F jaws and the H jaws, though.
No,
That would be rather a strange looking jaw.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, it's a catalogue number.
Well, technically speaking, it's not really. The sea jaws are called the sea jaws because Colwyn Way developed them, and C stands for Colwyn.
Ah.
I hate to tell you this, Mark, but they were called that before Colin came around.
Colwyn helped develop the sea jaws 30 years ago.
Now, Douglas says he has record powered chucks, but he does not know why.
Charlie at CET Wood Turning is in. Hello, Charlie.
Hello, Charlie.
All I'm doing now is just taking this rough shape off. Just keep moving 90 degrees, or 45 degrees, sorry.
I see you're back to your skew.
Yeah.
He was asking what speed you're going at, Mark.
918.
Could you not be a bit more precise?
918.34.
I would like to just point out that using a skew as a negative rate scraper is technically skew abuse.
Andrew's in from ADK.
Hello, Precious.
Must be on his lunch break.
From our view, you can see that looking down below that the ghost is disappearing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's just a case of taking your time.
And Roy's just come in as well.
Hey, Roy.
Anyway,
Good afternoon.
still got a little bit of a lump there, which I need to get rid of. So I'm just going to pump the speed up a little bit.
Just look at the actions just like now. And,
The trick is to keep it. Sorry.
carry on, Mark.
Trick is to keep it even both sides.
Now, see, Mark, you're changing hands right there, so you can use your left hand.
Sorry, Ruby, what was that?
I just saw you changing hands, so yes, you can use your left hand.
I can turn both left and right-handed.
Yeah, curiosity maybe to go and look at the jewels on the page. And we got type B, C, F, A. But the newer ones, like the ones that Mark's looking after for me, are mine really. They're just called the wood turning deep grip jewels with no letter identification on them. So they may have abandoned that naming scheme.
Because the ODs are the O'Donnell jaws. It's still here. Come on, that's got to go.
Douglas Mangum says he can't turn with either hand. Understand that.
Yeah, they've got the expanding pin chuck jaws and the deep grip jaws that don't have a letter identification, so it looks like that's possibly a discontinued naming scheme.
Oh, intermediate. What are we going to do with you? He says he has to use tools too.
It's nice getting a chuckle like
the overhead.
Yeah, still got a bit of.
I've still got just a little bit of that bit there, so I just need to get rid of that. But I'm gonna slightly move. Just so I don't just scrape away one side. Try that again. Like I say, you have to reposition these sometimes.
Douglas says he uses a chainsaw and still can't get things smooth. You're right.
Yeah, I found that true with my chainsaw too. What I hate is when you take a half log and you go to mount a faceplate on the flat end and you find it's not flat.
Mm-hmm.
Roy's asking if you made those cup chucks.
Yes, I did, Roy. If you go and watch, if one of you guys could go and find Shop Dog Workshop, and I think he's only got 3 or 4 videos. If you could put his video in, the link, please.
I'll see if I can find it here.
One day I'll have to get Pete to teach me how to do that.
Now, the reason I'm using a scraper and not a bowl gouge is because I don't want to be taking too much. It's almost gone now. It'll sand out. So that'll sand out now. I don't want to be taking too big of cuts. I only want to be doing small cuts. So I'm going to use clean spores, 50mm sanding discs, and I'm going to turn my dust extractor on.
Well,
Which
you
grid
said
are you starting with, Mark?
You can't hear over that.
Mm.
It's a very loud extractor he's got there.
did he say Shop Dog Workshop?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm looking
Yeah.
and there's not finding it.
No, I'm not either. Saw Shop Dog Garage.
No, I'll see if I can find them in my who I'm subscribed to, because I'm sure I should be.
Hmm.
It's all one word, Shop Dog Workshop. Doesn't look like Mark has any sandpaper on the end of his thing.
I found him.
Ah,
I
there it
found
is.
him.
You got them?
Yep.
Yeah, I just found them as well. Beat it, Doug. I got it.
I've got it. Where'd my check go? There it is.
Keep turning the
There it is.
sphere, rotating it just a little further each time.
You got the link there twice if you need it.
Emma Cook also does it in a slightly different manner. She uses O-rings in wooden holders. That's more for smaller spheres. But, she's got a video on her channel somewhere, but she's got hundreds of videos, so I'm not going looking for that one.
There have been a lot of videos put out about turning spheres, aren't there?
Yeah.
Yep.
Different chucks and holding methods and
At the end of the day, this is the basic technique. Is you need something that will hold it that you can rotate and
mm-hmm.
do it from different angles. Douglas Mungham asking if donut chucks could work. Kind of.
Yeah, they will.
You lose the advantage of doing it this way is you're getting a lot of ghosting that you can see when it's not round. If you're working on the end through a donut chuck, then you wouldn't see that ghosting so well. But if you want to hollow a sphere, then a donut chuck is definitely the way forward.
So Alex has recently made some on his 3D printer.
Yeah, that's fine.
Would you then need to put something between the chuck and the ball?
I'm not too sure.
I'm just thinking that 3D printing is pretty stiff. It's a pretty stiff plastic once it cools, and I would think if it spun any, it'd leave a pretty good ring on that ball. Sphere. Thin bit of foam, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Makes perfectly good sense.
Carsten's just come in. Good afternoon.
Hey, Karsten.
Yeah.
One of the first people I ever saw use a vacuum chuck. The chuck itself was like an cast aluminum cylinder,
Hmm.
but he used the just some of the thin white packing foam around the edge. He said you don't need to go out and get all this stuff, blah blah blah. He just went on and on. He pulled out that foam and he pulled a little spray glue on the chuck, stuck that foam on it, took his pocket knife, cut an X in the foam, and off he went.
Yeah, I
Worked
mean,
very
I
well.
guess that would depend on the amount of vacuum you're using, what sort of stiffness of padding you need.
Right.
But
Well, and that white stuff, it's thin. It's comes in sheets and folds up and whatnot.
yeah, I use it quite a lot.
Turbo noise.
Where's the other two, Mark? You need to juggle those now.
Yeah. Hold on. It may not be skill rules, but ready?
It's better than I'd ever do.
Oh, you've been practicing.
As a juggler, I make a really good wood turner.
There you go. I'd be the same
I
way.
make popular tennis balls. Right, so from this is the oak post that they came off of. So from that to that stage to that stage, one skill ball. Nice and round, nice and smooth in the hand. I will just give this just a quick oil finish. Okay. I don't know if it's John's still in the chat. But if you are, is an oil finish okay? I can't remember what I did with this last time.
I haven't seen him see anything for a while.
I usually would just do a. Could do it anyway. Chestnut.
With the oil finish.
Oh, he's still there. John, are you okay with an oil finish?
Oh yes.
It's-
Sorry.
It's literally just a clear oil.
You're using the lemon flavored one though.
No. This is food safe. Food safe because we know what these skill players are like. They're animals.
Yes, he'd like you to oil it, please.
They tend to gnaw on these balls.
I think this is the game I'd have trouble playing because that looks awfully big for my hand.
Mick Dew says a very rounded performance today, Mark. Sorry, I'll get my coat.
Yeah. Right, so
That's
that's
a good
got
one,
oil on
Mick.
it.
I like that one.
So
That was a good one, Mick.
I do want to share with everybody something which I shared with the earworms before, just to show I'm still the idiot you all love. So
Was there
as you
ever a
all
doubt?
know, yeah, thanks. I'm here all week, folks. Right, John, this one should be okay. There are no cracks anywhere on it. All right. It's 5-inch diameter, give or take a couple of millimeter.
If that's the
And
size, if that's the official size of a Skittle ball, what's the
God, yeah,
size of a Skittle?
whack, 10 inches. The Skittles,
10. Okay.
10 inches high, 6-inch at the fattest. I think it's 4-inch at each end. So it's
Okay.
that kind of shape. So Time for a roundup. That's what they call them, isn't it? A roundup. Right. So that's finished. That can go there. If I turn the camera that way and do that, there you go. One skittle ball. Right.
Yeah.
Now, as
I'm
most
gonna-
of you know, Harrogate show is coming up, and I will be on the Greenspore stand all 3 days, and as guest demonstrators, we've got Mick Dews and Wayne the Woodturner, also doing demonstrations on each 3 days to give poor little old me a break. Otherwise, I'll pass out. So the lathe is going to be, my small lathe is going to be going up there. And as we're doing demonstrations in public, we have to have a safety screen. So I went online. That was my first mistake. My second mistake is possibly I'd had a few sherbets when I went online to order the plastic for the safety screen. Third mistake is I don't really have a great understanding of the metric system. So I ordered a safety screen. And as you can see,
Oh, mercy.
I've ordered the wrong size.
Yes, but you can't cut it on a table saw, Mark.
It's enormous. It's twice as long as the lathe.
Well, Mark, you could orientate it in that direction. And then
Yeah, have it in portrait instead of landscape.
Oh, yeah, it's gonna be, but it's still.
No, have it the way you originally showed it.
yeah,
Really?
Yeah, then all you've got to do is put some feet on it.
Oh, do you know what that might? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Couple of L brackets.
Yeah.
Drill holes, like shelf brackets. L shelf
Yeah.
brackets.
Yes.
There you go.
You understand it?
Yeah.
Brilliant. I did it like that on purpose all along. So just
Hey, I'll give you a suggestion, Mark. Keep the wrapping for when you're transporting it. It'll keep it from getting all scratched up.
that's too big.
You know you got a crack in the end of
Oh,
that
man.
oak post, don't you?
Hey?
You know you got a crack in the end of that oak post.
Yeah.
Cut that off. Cut that into some feet. That's got some good weight to it.
Oh,
Job
I've
done.
got some 2x4 over there which I can salvage.
There you go.
I could use that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant. So when we're at Harrogate, everyone, please bring your stickers along because I'd like loads of stickers on the safety screen. Not in the middle, around the edges. So I'll bring the guys back in.
You almost have enough room to put a few stickers on there.
Yeah, I do. Just a bit. But anyway, the lessons learned from that are have a better understanding of the metric system. Don't order online when you've had 3 or 4 drinks. And don't order online. Go and look and see how big it is. But anyway, there you go. One hand cut sphere. Ball.
Well done, Mark.
Bowling ball.
Looks round from here.
That was fun. Here's round. Solid.
Yes,
That
if I
one is
make
not
a
gonna split.
if I make a ball that needs to actually roll, I've got the advantage of standing in the kitchen and rolling it down to the front door. I've got a long hallway, so I can see if it rolls straight or goes into the dining room.
Thank you,
So-
John, for popping in today. He's back to work. I can see that. I'll get this into the post straight away, first class. So it should be there tomorrow for you guys to use in your league match tomorrow night. Thank you, Ruby, Wayne, and sorry, go on.
Mick said, Wayne, when he wants to handle that screen, we'll be in the calf.
I'll be there on the Thursday setting it up.
Oh,
Where will
yeah,
you guys be?
I'm not
No.
turning up till Friday.
Exactly. Right,
I'm
thanks.
turning up Thursday night in time for the bar, but I'm not going to be setting anything up.
That's it from me. Thank you, everybody. Hour and 20 power dead on. Thank you, Ruby,
Dead on.
You're
from
welcome.
the deepest, darkest jungle that is Canada. Thank you, Wayne, from the barbarian north. Hey, Pete, from Bristol. Go Bristol. Ride me babbers. And Doug from Kentucky.
Yep.
Don't care. Couldn't remember if it was Kentucky or Tennessee. Doug from the wilderness that is Kentucky. Home of
Not
fried
Tennessee.
chicken
Do
and
not
bourbon.
put me in Tennessee.
Tennessee is the patron state of shooting stuff.
Well, it's
Kentucky is
orange, and you know
fried,
what they say about a big orange
Kentucky's fried chicken and bourbon. Right.
and horses.
Thank you ever so much for everybody coming along. Sorry it's been a long time, but I've been busy. I have been busy. And I don't know when the next one will be. Most of October I'm away. I'm off to Italy. So we'll see what happens. Might get one in before I go, or definitely do one when I come back. Between coming back and going to Harrogate. So that's it from me. Thanks to everybody. And I will see you all again soon. Wonder what happens if I press this button.
Probably everybody leaves.
No,
Not that
nothing.
one.
Nothing
Gotta push the
happens.
other one.
I gotta press the other one. I haven't sorted